well consider that a younger, brighter, better qualified, albeit less experienced person might suit their needs better. Mr. Edwards, the head teacher she had worked with so happily for so many years, was taking early retirement. Having examined the worst-case scenario many times, Althea concluded that telling her sister Juno she was out of a job would be the worst part. Juno was a strong woman who had Althea's best interests at heart, and felt these interests were best served by knowing and advising on every detail of Althea's life. She would have a lot to say about Althea's unemployment, which, Althea suspected, she would hear even if she did get the job. William, who was sluicing the germs around in the cups so they covered every surface, watched critically as his mother swept a pile of papers off the kitchen table and put them on the dresser, where they would join other papers swept up there on other days and disappear. "You really shouldn't do that, Mum. Tomorrow you'll be frantic looking for Rupert's report and turn the house upside down. Why don't you be more organised?" Althea, knowing he was right, made a face. "I get bored with being organised. I am organised at school. At home, I am who I want to be." "No, you're not. Or you wouldn't be flapping round like a blue-ass fly because Juno's coming. You're a victim of your desire to conform." "I'm a victim of my bossy sister and my bossy children." "Then it's time you took control of your environment, like I do." Althea, who'd grown accustomed to such statements over the past year, snorted. "I'm doing my best. You only manage to keep your room so minimalist because you keep your junk in the sitting room." "That's not junk. It's the schoolwork you consider to be so important." "Well, it takes up a lot of space. I'd be grateful if you'd take it up to your room." "Yeah, Mum. Like you always keep your stuff in your room." He dumped a cleanser-covered necklace which he'd found in a cup into her hands. "That's me done. I'm just going to make some scrambled eggs." Althea added the necklace to a couple of others which hung from a hook on the dresser. "No chance of you making them in the microwave, I don't suppose?" "They're not the same in the microwave." "Then please wash the pan afterwards." "I always do." Althea reflected that her children wouldn't realise that putting cold water into a saucepan isn't the same as washing it until after they had left home and run out of saucepans. She opened a packet of digestive biscuits and put them on a plate. Juno was an advocate of food combining, and Althea could never remember what time of day she could eat what, but the biscuits were a gesture. Absent-mindedly, she put a broken half into her mouth and, realising what she'd done, started guiltily. Someone at school had given her a fridge magnet which said, "Little pickers wear big knickers." Its trite essential truth always flashed into her mind a moment too late. At 4 o'clock, exactly the time Juno said she would call, the doorbell rang. Althea checked her face for crumbs and went to answer it. As much as she loved her sister, she was always a little nervous of her. Juno was one of those people who actually do put face powder on their cheeks while they make up their eyes, so it's easier to remove any smudges. Althea didn't know anyone else who'd bother. "Hello, darling," she said, kissing Juno, who was, as usual, perfectly groomed and smelt marvellously of some new and unpronounceable perfume. "Come in." Juno returned the hug. "I've brought some magazines I finished with, and a pair of shoes I bought in a sale which are far too big for me. You might like to try them." "Angel, how lovely." Althea depended on her sister's passion for bargains for all her smarter clothes. "Now come in and have something. What would you like? Tea? Coffee? Drink?" Juno followed Althea down the passage to the kitchen. "It's far too early to start drinking," she said firmly, although Althea had actually meant something soft. "But I'd love a cup of tea." William was draining the kettle into his personal cafetiere as they entered the kitchen. "Hi, Juno," he greeted his aunt. "How are you? Want some coffee? If you do, I'll make it." "There's some technology," he indicated the cafetiere, "Mum just can't get behind." "There's a lot of technology you can't get behind," snapped his mother, "like the broom and the duster, and Juno's having